Hello! Welcome to this video. I have some thoughts about album fillers. If you go back to the 80s, you had about 45 minutes totally on a vinyl record. So a band that recorded an album back then had a lot more songs, but a lot of those were scrapped, never to be used again. Because they weren't good enough to be on the record. You only had 45 minutes. And if you wanted a really good sound, you shouldn't go over 40 minutes on an album. Only 20 minutes on each side. But when the CD came and became the CD somewhere in the early 90s, maybe late 80s, early 90s, became the standard. Instead of 40 minutes, you can put on 70 minutes. And with the 70 minutes, it came album fillers. And those album fillers were not good for us buying the records. Back in the days of the vinyl, I think that the best records were those that when you were finished listening to them, you had to listen on the A side and on the B side, and when you were through, you wanted more. That was the best records. But then, instead of the 40-minute album, it came the 70-minute album. You were tired of the album because some of the songs would have ended up in the trash can before. But now, with the 70-minute limit on a CD, they were put on the CD. Few bands in the 90s, when the vinyl releases stopped, were under 70 minutes. They were approaching 70 minutes, almost every one of them. And then there were a few albums that was around the 70-minute mark that were great. And one of those albums were Waking Up the Neighbors, the 1991 Bryan Adams album. I think that album is good all the way through. But that was when he was on the top of his career with a great producer. He had a great songwriting partner, and I bet there was a lot of songs that ended up scrapped. And I think that's the problem when you release too much. I think the 40-minute limit on a vinyl album was the best, because when you were through, a great album, you wanted more. And I think that bands today should really think about that. Don't push it. Don't release all the songs you have on a double album or 120 minutes digital release or something like that. Be selective. Put on the good songs. Have someone help you listen and choose the best songs for your release. Because in that case, people want to hear more. And they're not fed up when album number 2 comes. Because they are waiting, because they wanted more from album number 1. That's some of my thoughts about it, because I've been out of action for over 2 months, and I've listened to a lot of albums, mostly on vinyl. So that is why I've been thinking a lot of this lately. So please, if you have something to say, please comment. If you don't have something to say, don't comment. Go and make yourself a sandwich. enjoy every sandwich. So, thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.